What's going on, guys? Moon 3PO here, and in today's video, Baseball America has officially updated their top 100 prospect list for the month of June, and I'm going to highlight top 3 shortstops that you might want to keep an eye out in the trading card market. Now, before I go deep into the video here, I just want to preface this is not meant to be taken as financial advice, so I am not telling you after watching this video to go out and buy these players' cards, go buy all their first Bowman autos, their refractors, their parallels. I am not telling you all that, so please take this information with a grain of salt. Investing in sports cards, especially in prospects, is extremely risky. So if you are planning on buying these cards for any type of investment, please do your own research. And once again, not financial advice. Now, before I go over my top 3 shortstops here, I do want to say I do thank you guys for tuning into all the content here recently. You guys have been killing the subscribe button here recently. I think we're like about 52 subscribers away from 500. Once I hit 500 subscribers, I will be doing a giveaway. So if you guys haven't yet and you guys have been enjoying this type of trading card content, please feel free to leave a like, comment down below, and do not forget to hit the subscribe button. That is a free way to help support the channel. So with all that being said, let's go over the top 3 shortstops. First player we're going to cover is Aiden Miller from the Philadelphia Phillies. Now, if you've watched my other previous videos, you guys would know that I've been talking about Aiden Miller a lot. So it does not surprise me here that he's had the biggest jump out of all the players here on this list. He jumped from 73 to 21. That's 52 spots. And not just with shortstops, of all the players on this list. So it is pretty amazing that he's jumped out high in such a short time span. And you can see by the numbers here, he's putting up some pretty good numbers. His numbers haven't changed dramatically from the last time I covered him. Still has five home runs, scored 28 runs, driven in 26. Batting average here sitting at 275 with a walk rate of 14.3. So it is pretty good for his age and at that level. Strikeout percentage at 21.4. So you can see here just a difference here. Not dramatic here, but it is showing improvements here and something you want to keep an eye out here moving forward. On base percentage pretty good. OPS sitting close to 900, so pretty good as well. ISO over 200, which anytime you're over 200 is pretty good in my opinion. BABIP sitting at 340, WOBA 418, and WRC plus in at 155, so all above league average here. And just some news and notes here for Aiden Miller. Along with making the biggest jump in Baseball America, he has been promoted from single A to high A Jersey Shore. So he will be fist pumping his way to Jersey Shore, and it is going to be something you want to keep an eye out here moving forward. Next player is going to be the youngest shortstop here on my list. Is going to be Colt Emerson from the Seattle Mariners. Now, what is really impressive for him is that he is only 18 years old. So the fact he's 18 is now coming in at number 15 on Baseball America, jumping 15 spots. That's pretty good. So you can see here what he's done at his levels here coming in. He first made his debut at 17. Now, obviously here being at 18 years old, you can see here the improvements here that he's made. Obviously the power numbers are not going to be too crazy. He is still very young, so he is going to grow into that frame. I would expect some pretty big numbers from him because you can see here the OPS set at 855 last year, hitting at 880. At the complex league, over 1,000. So the fact that he's putting up these numbers at only 18 years old, I would expect him to grow into that frame a little bit more. You see here the ISO, like I just mentioned with Aiden Miller, anytime you're over 200 is pretty good. So he is a little bit lower than that. So that's something you do want to keep an eye on here. But the thing I like about Colt Emerson and part of his game that I like is the walk to strikeout ratio. You can see here he has more walks than strikeouts. Walk percentage sitting at 20.4 and K percentage sitting at 14%. So as he moves through the levels here, that's something you want to keep an eye out here. Anytime you're walking more than you're striking out, that's pretty good. And you can see here the WRC plus are sitting at 143, WOBA 423. So pretty good numbers there. And some news and notes here you want to keep an eye out here for Colt Emerson is that he does have a small fracture in his foot. That just happened here a few days ago at the time of this recording, and it's going to be out for 2 to 4 weeks. So I don't think that's going to be an injury that's going to keep him out for long. It's not going to dramatically affect his cards and his card market, but it's something you want to keep an eye out for because anytime that we see these prospects get hurt, it can potentially derail them a little bit. So if you're following Colt Emerson, has some of his cards, or are looking to pick up some of his cards, it's something you want to keep an eye out on. Now, coming in at number 1 on my list, this might be a little bit biased because I am a Red Sox fan, but it is going to be Marcelo Meyer from the Boston Red Sox. He is finally back here in the top 10. He went from 18 to 10, so jumping 8 spots. He did deal with a shoulder injury last year. That's why if you're been following him a lot, you can see that his stock went pretty low, and you can see that the numbers here will cover that. But he's had a pretty good bounce back. So looking at 2023, he went from high A to double A, and you can see here at double A, he struggled mightily. Only hitting below 200, not walking a lot, striking out a lot, not getting on base. The power numbers were extremely low, very concerning. When I was following him last year, I thought it was very concerning as well. But He was dealing with a shoulder injury. He slid into third base, or I believe he slid into third base, second base, whatever base he slid into. He obviously slid very wrong. He tried playing through it, was not working with the swing, and he just derailed and put him at a very bad spot. But you can see by his numbers now, has bounced back tremendously. Power numbers there are back. The batting average is up. Walking a little bit more, striking out lower percentage, well below 5%. So that is pretty good. So it is pretty good to see those numbers here slowly decreasing. And you can see here the power numbers also being up. It's out of an OPS over 800, ISO 186. So below 200, I always like seeing 200, but the fact that he's pushing that threshold is pretty good. BABIP 358, WOBA 383, and WRC plus 139. So it is very good to see Marcelo making the comeback here. I'm very, very excited to see what he does. I would expect him to get the call to AAA soon. Nick York from the second baseman for the Red Sox has got the call, so I would expect him to slowly follow suit. And just some news and notes. The power numbers are showing because he does lead AA with 21 doubles as of June 12th, and he has been getting reps at third base. I know this is a shortstop list. I would see him staying at shortstop, but with the way the Red Sox are positioned, I don't know what's going to happen with Trevor Story. I think Rafael Devers will sooner or later transition to a full-time DH. Maybe it's a thing where they transition Marcelo to third base. Maybe he does what they did with Bogarts at his young age, where they had Bogarts going from short to third. Maybe that's what they do with him. He does have the frame to be a third baseman. Defensive metrics, especially in the minor leagues, can be very inconsistent. So if you look at his numbers now as a shortstop defensively, not very good, but I think he can hold his own there. But again, getting some reps at third base is something you want to keep an eye out here moving forward. We've gone over all the numbers. Now let's look at the first Bowman cards, the first Bowman autos to be specific. That is what we're going to focus on. That's what I like to focus on. I mean, you can look at different parallels. You can look at refractors. You can look at waves, whatever you want to look at. I just like looking at first Bowman. That gives me a good idea of what that card is doing, because obviously they're not numbered, and potentially if you're looking to buy other rare cards, potentially expect to pay a little bit more than that a normal base card. We're first going to take a look here at Aiden Miller. Aiden Miller is like the baby blue here. He doesn't have a lot of data because his cards were just introduced here in 2024 Bowman, as I've discussed here. So you can see here when an initial drop here going for $150 here, had one sale there, 5 sales, then shooting up to 167. And of course, after release date and more of these cards populating, did see a little bit of a drop, but we are seeing just a little bit of an increase. Was going as low as $78, and it's gone back up to $88 as far as the last sale. So maybe I would assume the rankings of him and him having that biggest jump did have an effect on that, and potentially maybe even higher. So as he moves up in the rankings, like we just mentioned here, he just got it called up to single A Jersey Shore. So it is something you want to keep an eye out here if you are following Aiden Miller. Now, looking at Colt Emerson, obviously here, he's going to have a little bit more data because he came in at the 2023 Bowman draft. Now, his first Bowman here coming in pretty hot. It came in at 152, got the call, and then it went all the way up to $203, then dipped down tremendously to 121. So he's had a lot of more up and down. I'm sitting at 185, then went to 174. Of course, those are just one sale, and then now sitting here at 140, one sale. And when you look here at the overall number, you can see here, last I was saying at 140, changes their average price in at 156. And looking at here for Miller as well, you can see here last sale 88.25, average price here 105. Marcelo Meyer, for whatever reason, on Market Movers, and I'll link all the links here that I covered here will be linked down in the description down below, all the numbers as well. For some reason, Marcelo Meyer has a weird number here. It doesn't see anything here out of the last 90 days, so I do have to filter out for all of the data here. And you can see here, he made his debut, his trading card, his first Bowman, made his debut at 2021 Bowman draft. And we can see here, right off the jump here, had a pretty high ceiling, hit it at 540 with 5 sales, 498, and then had a little bit of a higher rise or dip, and then high rise of 485. Then it slowly started dipping here back to 2022. So nearly 50% drop off here, sitting at $225. And then see here $183 in 2022. And then you can see here what's kind of plateauing going through 2023. And then you can see here the injuries basically affected this here and kind of was stagnant. Nothing was really moving, but see here coming in at 115. It has now slowly gone back up, sitting at over $200, so way below what it started off at, but sitting at $200. And when you look at it here at Market Movers, you see the average price is $407. So I don't know if there just hasn't been an update with the data here, but that just kind of gives you an idea of what to expect here with these cards, with both Marcelo, Aiden Miller, and Colt Emerson, if you are looking to get into these cards. And again, market movers will be linked down below if you guys do want to use this database. So those are my top 3 shortstops here that you want to keep an eye out here, and obviously here I just want to be clear and concise with you guys as well. I don't own any of Miller or Colt Emerson cards. I don't have a stack of those. I do own a stack of Marcelo Meyer cards. I do have my own for my personal collection and also for potential flips. So I do want to keep it honest with you guys. I don't want to make it seem like I'm just trying to pump these cards up. Obviously, I'm not that big of an influencer that I don't even want to consider myself an influencer to affect these prices, but do want to be honest with you guys as far as why I'm picking these players and things like that. Just because I do think they are going to be very talented shortstops in the future. And if you guys are trying to get into card investing or who is the next best shortstop, these are potentially the top 3 players you want to keep an eye out for. So hopefully you guys did enjoy this video and my insights on these players. That I missed a shortstop? Do you agree on my list? Once again, sound off in the comments down below. And if you haven't, please feel free to hit the subscribe button. That is a free way here to support the channel. I do thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned for the next one.